listening to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Pharmacy Profit Summit Live 2023 here in Dallas, Texas, August 4th through 5th. This is the place that pharmacists come to improve their profits for their pharmacies throughout their communities. We're so excited to be a part of this. Lisa Fast.
What are you doing, Todd? This was a party. Where's the energy at? This was a party for community pharmacies.
It really was. It was an amazing time. I will try again, but this is a series. We're going to kick this off. Let's get going. We'll catch up with you later. It's been brought to the attention of the Pharmacy Podcast Network that our next guest is a traditional guest every time we come to a Pharmacy Profit Summit Live. And therefore, welcome Dr. Adam Robinson.
Hey, buddy.
What is this, your third or fourth, or I'm losing count?
I talked at her very first one, and then I talked at the second one. This is the first one I've not talked at.
Okay.
So that's weird.
You're getting kicked out of the speaker realm. Not out of ours. We'll always be here as long as you're
right.
So you are going through some growth, and I wanted to congratulate you.
Thank you.
But you have a new pharmacy that's coming aboard.
Yeah. We Gabe, my business partner, we had a opportunity come up, and there's a pharmacy. It was a little bit further away than normal, and it was about an hour away from where we were, and everything was right. It offered some compounding. It offered some things that was a little bit different than what we had, so it was diversifying.
Hey,
she's out
playing right into diversifying.
Right into that, and so we diversified a little bit and ended up buying this store, and it's been a booger. It's been a while since we've expanded, so there's a lot of things we had to relearn, contracting, all that good stuff. But it's been good. Like, it feels good, and that's when we knew it was the right move. It just feels good.
So this is a very sincere opportunity for us to talk about this. So talk to me about the important steps as a pharmacy owner who's acquiring another pharmacy and bringing it into your fold. That's a different business model than someone who just has one pharmacy or has never bought another pharmacy.
Yeah.
Share with us some of the points of wisdom and advice that you can give a pharmacy owner.
So the very first thing we had to have was good systems in place at our other stores.
Okay.
So at our locations, we were very comfortable that we could leave. We could go to the back office and work on things. So, workflow, that's kind of our thing. And we had good workflow. We had good leaders in our stores. We were good with, I've got to go work on a different avenue. Am I okay to do that? And so that took a long time. And when we finally got there, which we've been there for a little while, then we said, let's pull the trigger. And so that has still brought up a whole bunch of stuff. I still feel like I'm not at the other stores as much, but it's a transition phase right now for sure. In the new store, we got a great crew. We kept everybody. We brought our same principles in, family-oriented, efficiency. What are we going to do? And we were just very honest and open when we came in. Hey, this is how we run our stuff. We're going to change some stuff, but it's going to be for the best.
Yep.
And so we've been having to work. It's a new puzzle piece. And if you know me, everybody who knows me, we love that stuff. We love that idea. So the biggest piece of all of it is that my other stores are okay if I'm there one day a week. If you're not and you're kind of there, it's going to be a lot. Doesn't mean that it's not possible. I know a lot of people that have done it. But that would be priority numero uno, is to get that process in place, that you have a really good team, strategies, processes in place so that you can focus on something else.
What are some of the products or services here at
Profit Summit Live 2023 that you've either walked past the booths or you've talked to some of the solution providers that have excited you? Like what's starting to get you kind of jazzed up?
You know, it's since COVID, I feel like the pharmacy world's been a smidge stagnant. You know, there hasn't been a whole lot of just new things. But we're seeing a lot more online stuff. So like drugstore to door, those guys are awesome. They got a good thing going. We're working with them. I'm a little slower than most trying to finalize all that, but I'm getting there. Happier at Home, we just talked with them.
Yep.
That's a great idea. Like I told her, I'm still dancing with her. She's still my dancing partner. It just sometimes it takes a little bit of time to pull the trigger on things. That makes me excited because it's a different avenue of income.
Yeah, it's a cash-based.
It's a cash-based
that
income
people need.
Yeah, and if you're not diversifying, if you don't have money put back for the DIR apocalypse, it's going to be hard. And it's always been hard, but this is going to be a little bit different. So I'm excited. Kyle McCormick, right?
Yep.
He's going to be here from Blueberry. I heard him speak a couple times, and I've talked to him personally. Just the cash model pharmacy.
Yep.
You know, I like breaking the mold. So seeing what he's doing with that is amazing, and I'm excited to hear about that. I would love to put in a cash pharmacy somewhere.
Yep.
Less restrictions. That's what we need. We need to be able to practice pharmacy. And so those are the ones that I see that are really exciting that I like. Tom Wheelwright spoke earlier. Tax strategy is a huge piece.
Yep.
We've been talking about that for years, and we do a lot of good tax strategy. We're not experts at it by no means, but that's another piece that can really help. A lot of people don't. Maybe I'm thinking about that they don't, but maybe they do. They like the home runs, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I did this, and oh my gosh, I'm getting $2 more, or I made per prescription, or man, I hit $1,100 on this script, or whatever. What about all the saving money?
Yeah.
You know, how much money can you make by saving money?
True.
And tax strategy is a big piece of that. You save a ton of money on tax strategy.
Yeah.
People just don't think of it. It's not as glamorous as the other stuff. So efficiencies, yeah, I like all that. That's my jam for sure.
Well, I'm excited to have you back. It's always good seeing you. You're sporting a U.S. Farmy shirt for us, which is awesome. I want to just tell you how I've watched you over the years that I've known you and how sincere and inspiring that you've been to other pharmacy owners. I know when you do speak, the reaction that you get because of the sincerity that you bring. Yeah. And I appreciate that. So it's good to have you back on
Honesty,
on the show.
Man, that's the best way. And I love connecting to everybody that's different.
Yep.
Because we all learn, you know, all the ships are coming up, right? When God comes in, and nobody hears my competition, and you just be honest with them, listen to them. A lot of people don't like to listen, right? They just want to tell their story. They don't want to listen. I like to listen to them, see what they got going on. What can I do to help them? So, I don't know. That's just who I am, but I love it. I love that you guys are always here all the time. Yeah. And you're a good buddy.
I like it. I love you. I love what you're doing. Adam Robinson, thanks for being part of the post show.
Thanks, buddy.
Pharmacy Profit Summit Live. We are here in where are we? Dallas, Texas. It's the start of conference season for us at the Pharmacy Podcast Network. I'm here with my producer, Brady Eury. I'm excited. Our interview is with a group and a team that helps to build out a very important documentary that means something to me. I've been in pharmacy now for over 20 years, and I've seen what pharmacists and our technicians are going through. Would you like shots with that? I want this team to introduce each other. I want you to be interviewing me as well, because this is going to be a round table. But let's start out with Marie. Marie, you are old school. You're back in the day when PDS was around, and you've really helped pharmacists level up. You and I were just talking before recording why you were drawn to this project. Introduce yourself and tell us about your role with Would You Like Shots with that?
Yeah, so I reached out to Anais Webster Minuti. She is the director/pharmacist about 6 months ago. I was drawn to the project because simply put, I love working with creatives. I feel like I'm the guardrails to those, to give those creatives the space to do something special. So I reached out. We've been developing processes, raising funds, marketing, and while she's developing the story. So simply stated, I just saw something I wanted to be a part of. I thought it was special and jumped on the train.
Kristin, we're excited to have you here as well. It's been so nice to meet you in person instead of on LinkedIn. Introduce yourself to the listeners and tell us about your role.
Yeah, my name is Kristin Speer, and I am a pharmacist. I am also an executive producer of this documentary. And my background is actually from PBM. And what I came out of the industry understanding was that there is so much room for improvement in the entire healthcare system, including the PBM industry. I think there's a lot that can be done to improve the recognition that pharmacists are healthcare providers. So this documentary, I came to the project about almost a year ago, about maybe 10, 11 months ago. And after leaving the PBM industry, decided that I also wanted to take more of a creative route. And so here I am telling the story. I'm very passionate about it. I should say that none of us are making wages on this project right now, meaning that this is very much a passion project of ours.
Yep.
And we're doing this for the pharmacy community as well as for the public to educate and to, of course, entertain the public with this docuseries.
Yeah.
The reason I'm excited about Would You Like Shots with That, the documentary, is because if we do not educate the public of what's actually happening in the pharmacies, if we don't get Congress involved, then the changes are going to either not happen or they're going to just take place too slow, allowing the three largest payers, PBMs, to then deviate and pivot in order to continue to be more profit-driven rather than looking out for what is healthcare and what is the role of our pharmacists. I like the fact that Would You Like Shots with That pinpoints, even in the title, the entire meaning of the entire documentary, which is, hey, this is not fast food. We're not, your immunizations and your shots should not be just an add-on thing while medication management and going through your entire drug profile, which is more important to sit down with a pharmacist to really dissect. Oh no, you have to just treat it like a fast food, McDonald's or Burger King, and oh, would you like some shots with that as like a side thing, which diminishes the value of your health as an individual, as a consumer. That's what I'm excited about, that this is going to finally give our consumers a look inside something that they have been trained as a secondary outsource, a secondary impact of what the PBMs really have done, to think, oh, yeah, this is just like me going to Wendy's, or this is just like me going to some fast food place. It's not. It's your friggin' healthcare. Like, if there's more to this than just getting a shot with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the entire industry, or the public perception is that we're just McDonald's with pills. And we'll meet them where they're at. That's where we'll start with this documentary, but then we're going to flip that paradigm on its head.
Yeah. The other thing that I'd add is to really drive change in our industry and healthcare more broadly, it's going to take more than one path, right? So you have organizations like NCPA who are taking advocacy, they're pushing it to the limit. You have channels like Pharmacy Podcast, you have this edutainment, like Would You Like Shots with That for the public. There's no wrong path as long as they all converge to the message that pharmacy is not fast food. And by focusing on things like quantity over quality and that focus on price, even though it is important, it creates that race to the bottom, and that further reinforces the commoditization of healthcare. And it's not just pharmacy, it's across all of these healthcare sectors.
And
so
that's why...
Yeah, it's going to take more than one path, and that's why we are choosing to take this edutainment route.
If someone's listening, they're in the pharmacy profession, they want to get involved, how do they support Would You Like Shots with That?
Ooh, that's easy. So we have a goal of we need to get 5 sponsors to get us through the end of the year. So our pharmacist director, Anais, she's about to have a baby. I think she's due in about a week.
Congratulations.
And so,
We're all excited.
Bless her. So our focus is keeping the train on the tracks while she's able to take that time, be with her family. And we're focusing on the West Coast leg of our production trips.
Okay.
So we want to meet with people like RPH Ally. There are a handful of others that
Accidental pharmacists.
Great chain.
Yep. So we're working on raising funds for the West Coast leg of the trip. We've recently hired a consulting producer and an entertainment lawyer that's going to facilitate the conversations with these streaming networks.
Okay.
So we're trying to get through the end of the year, give Anais the space to be with her family, and knock a couple of the things off the list. So really, we want 5 sponsorships in the month of August.
Okay. So is it wouldyoulikeShotsWithThat.com?
Shotswiththat.com.
Shotswiththat.com.
Either one will work.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Would you like shotswiththat.com or just shotswiththat.com?
Yeah, Shots with That, I think, is the Twitter handle, too. So if you want
It
to
is.
follow on Twitter X, I guess now it's called. Another rumor that I heard is the team or some of your team is going to show up at Farm at Sea, which is the cruise that's happening in 2024 that was
Yeah.
organized by Dr. Marie Shaw and Dr. Shane. And we're going to be there as well, so I can't wait
I
to be a
love
part
it.
of that. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll
it'll be
see
an
that.
exciting time on the water for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, when I heard about it, I was like, what a clever double entendre.
Farm
No, I don't
at
think that's
sea.
what it is. Farm at sea. Double entendres, I think those are inappropriate. Yeah.
The creativity out of pharmacy. Well, we're glad that you got to be part of the Profit Summit Live. Lisa is a warrior for community pharmacies.
Yeah.
She believes in the quality of pharmacy and the clinical knowledge of our pharmacists because she's a pharmacist and pharmacy owner herself. But in closing, is there anything you want to say to our listeners with regards to would you like shots with that?
I think one thing I'd like to say is, as much as the pharmacy community really wants to get this story out, this is very much for the public, the general audience as well. So we got to keep that in mind. This topic is complex, it's convoluted. As we know, documentary goal is to educate and entertain. So, we'll be approaching this from that angle as well and making sure that the story that we tell is suitable for the general audience. And that leads me to the book topic. So we're also writing a companion book where a lot of the nitty-gritty, minute, juicy details about working behind the counter and PBM contribution to the working conditions and all these facets of this picture. A lot of what we cannot possibly put in the documentary will likely come out in this book. So stay tuned, follow us, we're excited, and I'll leave it with that and turn it to Marie.
I think what I'd like to say is there are more ways to contribute. Obviously, we need funding. We're looking for support, financial support to get us through this next leg. But if there's anything that resonates with your listeners, share the post, comment, send it in an email.
We'll even take your name off of it if you don't want to be mentioned, but you have
Absolutely.
something that is resonating with you, something that your employer has done or the insurance programs have done. If you don't want to be mentioned, we will disguise your name but use it as fodder to
Absolutely.
our we're in a battle right now for public safety, really, is what this comes down to.
Yeah,
Sure.
we're doing the same thing too. We strongly recognize the need for anonymity in this world, in this industry. And so we 100% honor that as well. We have a lot of stories that are very much in the dark, and we keep those identities concealed, and we honor that.
Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and that's really what we're trying to do, is shine a light on the opportunities to improve the industry. And anything that your listeners, and Todd, thank you for having us, can do to support, obviously financial, but just helping us spread the word. And those algorithms on social media, comment, share, whatever you need to do, it is needed and appreciated more than anybody can convey.
Right, that triggered my memory. So we also have a GoFundMe for those who are maybe don't want to or aren't able to sponsor up at that level, a sponsorship or producer level, every single dollar counts, and that's what our GoFundMe page is for. And if you can't donate, share.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can do, is share the story so the pharmacy story gets told.
All right. Once again, would you like Shots With That? shotswiththat.com. Follow them on, I think you're on Instagram, I know you're on Twitter. Connect with the team on LinkedIn. Thank you for being part of this.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for your time.
I get excited being around pharmacy owners who are, I guess I call them high performers. And some of that comes into what services you're using, what technologies you're using in order to get the most out of your revenue, your money. And cycling that is so important. Revenue cycling and price management and formulary management. Israel Green is the founder of EsriRx. And the reason why I need you to be part of our post-show for this year's Pharmacy Profit Summit Live is because, as I said to you before we started recording, I feel like pharmacy owners don't have a choice anymore. I think they have to take action. So I want you to kind of give our listeners a little overview of yourself, but then tell the stories on behalf of your clients that the ones that did take action have really seen a return on their investment.
Yes, certainly. So EsriRx was built first as a technology company. And once we realized that the independent pharmacy is working to survive rather than thrive,
Yep.
we had to rethink our model.
Amen.
And basically say, okay, what can we do in order to maximize a pharmacy's profit and start by maximizing their COGS? And because there are so many different NDCs and so many different wholesales out there and so many different opportunities, it's very easy for a pharmacy to say, listen, there's too many options. Let's go right back to the primary and let's stick to our single contract that we have rather
Yes.
than using all the available tech companies that are out there that make the process much easier to shop secondary. Which means is that if you're not using any software out there now, you might be thinking that you're doing something smart. But unfortunately, there are 60,000 different NDCs, and no one is going to have the best price on every single one. So it's important that you make sure is that where not only do you start looking at products where you think you're losing money on, look at every single item that you're buying and make sure that you're actually getting the best price for the stuff that you're actually dispensing. And that's the only way for you to make sure is that your profits are going to be there and your losses are going to be minimized. And, there are other, softwares out there, obviously, and we know that pharmacies use those softwares. But what we try to do is to focus on the individual pharmacy, what items they're losing on, and offering them solutions to really better their COGS and make sure that the items that they're buying, they're actually making money on and not even breaking even.
Yeah, what I liked that you and I talked about the last time, and I think it was the last Pharmacy Profit Summit Live, you were talking about how easy it is to implement the system because of your connections to the main pharmacy management systems, the APIs that have been developed. The simplicity of that is so important. A pharmacy owner doesn't want to have to be technical. They don't want to know how to set up an algorithm or write code or something like that. So your system is seamless. It's working behind the scenes.
Right. So our focus is to have us be your technology partner and have the pharmacy focus on their patients. We want to be there as a technology hub to make sure is that you don't need extra people on the ground to enter in all your inventory every single night. We don't need you to actually call up 30 different wholesalers, have a purchasing person in the store. Mm-hmm. It should be done extremely seamless. You should be able to sign up to a platform, open up new accounts with 30 different wholesalers, search from 60,000 different products,
Yep.
and get the biggest bang for your buck, and then wake up the next morning and have all your purchases uploaded into your pharmacy software. And we currently connect to Pioneer, PharmRx, Liberty, and so many other softwares out there that, yes, there is some manual labor of searching for products, but ultimately, once you get into the hang of it, you're going to start seeing is that it's not complicated. It's really simple, and you're going to start saving right off the bat, and you're going to wonder why you didn't use us for so many years.
During this track this year, this is a special Pharmacy Profit Summit Live where Lisa and her team now has 2 tracks. They have their pharmacy owner track, and they have a pharmacy technician track. And the reason why I think it's so important is because we know that our pharmacy technicians are going to start learning to do extra things in order to get some of that busy work away from our pharmacists, so pharmacists can be very, very clinical, dive down into the patient's health. DiversifyRx and the pharmacy technician are a power team, because if the ESRI team, which they will, can train the technicians to be the experts in, and there's nerdy technicians out there. We're all a little bit nerdy in pharmacy industry. I know I am. I know you are. But the pharmacy technician that loves that part of the business, that isn't necessarily transactional, maybe they're much more analytical. Talk to me about, because of the excitement around pharmacy technicians, how your team could help to train one of the chosen people on a pharmacy owner's team to become the expert in that.
Yes, so we obviously know that the pharmacy's main goal every single day is to fill scripts, deal with patients, deal with the health issues, and thinking about extra services is not something that's at the forefront of their mind.
Great.
So when a pharmacy signs up to ESRI-RX, we have a team that is going to speak to the technician, speak to the owner, and go through NDCs, go through their processes, and show them live and teach their team how they could be saving on products that they just dispensed and lost on. And they thought that it's the nature of the business. They thought that negative reimbursements are something that they just have to deal with in a business. And we're here to train them that no. On those NDCs, you might be losing on, but there are other NDCs that you could be making on. And we're going to show you those differentials. And we're going to show you how to maximize. And this is the job of a pharmacy owner and a technician.
Yep.
And if this marriage works together and works in sync, it could be so harmonious to a mom and pop pharmacy to actually thrive.
True. And get to the next level, because here's what's going to be happening. There's good and bad in everything, right? Even in our own profession, just because we're humans. This coming year, which Dr. Fast, she's named DIRF Apocalypse, right? So pharmacies who are thriving, that have an opportunity to purchase or take over another pharmacy that is not doing as well, in order to salvage that community's healthcare hub, that's extremely important. So your mission is to get our pharmacies thriving and having other opportunities based on the money that they're finally making, as they should, can be applied to expansion, because we know that there are pharmacy deserts out there that we don't have community pharmacies in. So this is kind of part of a bigger mission.
Yes, certainly. There are approximately 20-something odd thousand independent pharmacies out there. The biggest competitor are other independent pharmacies. And I personally think that what's missing is that because the bigger chains have the opportunity to just put out one software that works for every single one of their stores,
Yep.
they are attacking the technology aspects of the customers,
Right.
and sending texts to their patients. They're using technology, but I think that there's that homey feel of a mom and pop pharmacy, is that I can speak to the pharmacist and I'm not talking to any machine.
Yep.
So if we have the ability to take what they have and marry it into the independent pharmacy, that feeling could be expounded upon. And I think that a lot more patients will want to go back to the independent pharmacy if they feel that that same care is there with the available technologies that are offered into the big box.
Yep. Awesome. I can't wait to have you and your team come back and not only really talk about some success stories, but I want ESRI-RX users to come on and tell these stories, because this is inspirational to us, because I want to see community pharmacies thrive, and I want to see community pharmacies get deep into clinical analysis through things like blood testing, through pharmacogenomics, through personalized medicine, through psychedelics, which is a coming very interesting part. So, Ezreal, I'm excited that you got to be part of the Pharmacy Profit Live post show, And in closing, tell our listeners how to reach out to you.
So you can go onto EzriRx.com, which is EZRIRX.com. It's a free solution for pharmacies. It takes under 2 minutes to sign up, and we'll have a team that is going to show you how the site works and how it operates. And within a day, you could be signed up to realize real savings, and it's really going to blow your mind. It certainly will blow your mind. So it's EzriRx.com.
Thank you so much. We can't wait to have you back.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it.
You know, a big part of Pharmacy Profit Summit Live 2023 is the fact that we come together for messaging, communication, marketing, how mysterious that can be, as well as how it's changing, how social media is a major part of communications, how buying data and applying data correctly in order to market your pharmacy services is a big part of it. The education that Dr. Lisa Fast brings to the table is really important to us. However, a godfather to me in the concept of pharmacy marketing is Dan Benemez. And you're here with me today, and I'm glad that you're here. I feel like that there's a story I'm going to tell that we don't have time to listen to today, but I just wanted to tell you how I've looked up to you over the years and what you mean to community pharmacy and what you mean to, I think, this organization too. I think it's important.
Oh, thank you. I don't know how to respond to that, but it was very kind of you.
Where have you seen the major shifts happening in what we call pharmacy marketing? When you started PDS, what, you said 22?
1998, 25 years ago.
25 years ago. There was things that were working because it was the right time and the consumer understood things, and maybe it was paper or radio or something. We jettison ahead today. What's the biggest change to pharmacy marketing, in your opinion?
Well, actually, the concept is the same. And I founded PDS on two basic principles, and that is, number one, you can get rich by giving things away for free, and I use Google as an example. Mm-hmm. And then also that databases are the currency of the new millennium. And what was the concept then and is still the concept is technology. Technology. I was always a proponent of technology, whether it was voice broadcasting, where we're sending out automated calls, or we're doing, the technology has evolved, and right now, I couldn't possibly be more excited because of artificial intelligence. Yeah. And I want to tell everybody that you have to use it. It's like, a tsunami is coming, and do you want to be surfing on top of it, or do you want to be crushed underneath it? And if you are not in on this right now, you are falling behind exponentially. It's and the thing too is, AI is only going to be around for 2 or 3 years, and then nobody's going to be talking to AI because we're going to be doing quantum computing. So what you're able to do with the technology, the evolution of technology, but it's always been technology.
Yep.
Is what it's about, and being ahead of the curve on it.
Dan, what's one thing that's kind of an applicable sooner than later for a pharmacy listener that's listening to the post show? What's a tool that you have learned about that you're like, wow, pharmacy owners should be using, whether it's Alexa or whether it's Google, integration with ads or placement, or what do they call that when you zero down into a zip code?
Geofencing.
Geofencing.
Yeah.
But what do you think is something that you can share with the listeners today, what they should be focusing on?
Well, first of all, what is it that makes you different? I'm acquiring another pharmacy, hopefully by the end of the month, and there's a lot of opportunities of things that this pharmacy is not doing that pharmacies should be doing, and I'm investing in automation, packaging. I'm going to be visiting some of the vendors here, the vitamin suppliers. I don't want to be buying bottles of vitamins. I want to be buying vats because I'm going to be packaging it for people. And but as far as I mean, there's so many things that you can do, but you have to specialize in something.
Yep.
You can't just be the old-fashioned way and expect to succeed. And, you know, I remember one time I was doing a continuing education, and somebody challenged me about something. I don't remember, but I answered the question with a question, and the room went dead silent. And the question was, do you want to be busier or do you want to be more profitable? Because they're not the same thing. And the room went dead silent on that. You know?
That's a good. And I like to take that internally and think about that.
Yeah, I mean, and there's some great technology. I'm going to give a shout out to AJ here, right next to you in Ugo. UgoRx.com. Folks, you know, you're talking about margins and whether you're dealing with Medicaid or whatever. One of this innovative technologies that he has is that you can put in plans by state and look at the things that you aren't making money on, aren't doing well, and look for either alternative drugs, but the better part is he gives you alternative dosage forms, what those insurances pay for. And I use an example of Abilify, which you make nothing on, generic, but there's an oral dissolving tablet that you make a couple of bucks on, you know, per pill or per, you know, ODT. And I mean, to have that kind of information, again, it's technology, and it is the best kept secret, but this is breakthrough technology, and he's getting price updates daily, and it doesn't matter if you're Medicaid or in a rich area or an average area. There's ways to optimize what you're doing and improve profitability, improve cash flow.
Dan, thank you for being part of the post show. I want to announce to the listeners and put you on the spot that you and I need to get together and do a longer interview because I want to hear your story, and your story is very special. It means something to me. I've been in marketing, business development, and pharmacy since 2004, and your organization was the first one that I went to as a conference that was specific to community pharmacy, building the next-gen community pharmacy, and I think that was 2012-ish or 2013-ish. So we have a bunch to tell and a bunch to share. But thank you for being here, and I can't wait to do the full interview.
Me too. All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.